Hello folks! Today we are looking at a replay from me playing my beloved Polaris. At the start, this game was really not looking great, but we used some smart ice plays and Polaris funnies to make the best of it. Now, before looking at this video, a lot of you guys who watch my videos are actually subscribing. If I reach 1000 subscribers, I will make a Discord for you guys to challenge me to a duel. Now, let's look at this cool game. Haha, get it?
Alright, let's take a look at this game, shall we? I am playing here the Polaris tribe, of course. My opponent is playing Kiku, and looking at this map, it is interesting. We do have the luck of having a lot of ruins on our territory here. And there's just this huge lake that splits the land masses. And that's going to be the main point of interest for both of us. And what is interesting more is that our opponent here didn't have the luck of, having the ability to walk. This is really unfortunate for them and really slowed them down. And now looking at us, we have a decent spawn. I wouldn't say perfect because with Polaris you want to spawn next to the water. I mean, I almost did, but just not exactly what you want to, so yeah, it's fine. But let's now examine how this game played out, and let's focus on our perspective here. I should probably turn on the replay fog. Cool. And we go over here, we don't see a village, that is unfortunate, and here we do see the water, but we know that there's resources over here. And we go onto this lake here, which we at the moment didn't know that it was this huge of a lake. And I made a mistake with that Mooney, and that is just something that went wrong. Because I was following the shoreline, and I can almost guarantee you that that is not the way that you want to go with your Mooney. Because if you cross this lake here, you have a certainty of at some point you're going to find land. And what I kept doing here was just freeze everything, which made it very weird and wacky to fight. Because I was finding no villages at all, so I was not in a good place to fight anything. And his Mooney was just not supported at all, so that was weird. Do find a ruin, find another ruin here. And you can see that my economy was not happy. Not a happy economy. So I needed both of these to get a workshop. Okay, so we do find a village here, and we do see that our opponent here is playing Kiku. And there's a whole bunch of fish. And if we are lucky enough that we can stick this village, then we should be good. Okay, we get some population. We finally get another city here. And we take another workshop. And then we see our opponent smacking our Mooney here, meaning that we have a couple of choices. We can either walk away with this Mooney and try to capture it with this warrior here, or we can try sticking it, just get an explorer and take a loss. That's a couple of good options. Wouldn't say that either one is very fantastic in this case. Do some leveling here. I try to block movement, and with that I try to at least find a way to get the advantage and maybe even freeze the opponent here from capturing my city, but that doesn't really work out. We get ice fishing, and of course we take an explorer here, just so we can see what is happening. And we don't get much useful information other than the fact that there's a ruin here, and that my opponent has writing, which we already knew. So nothing too interesting. Also, my economy is absolute dog shit, and we just are trying to cope because Polaris is a very strong tribe in the late game. So if we can get to the late game, then we might be able to fight our way back, because I mean the score is pretty close, but that doesn't mean anything. And we do get our first Mooney at turn 11, turn 10, which is pretty good for Polaris actually. They do get our village, that is just unfortunate. We get Polarism, because now we can do something very fun, which is try to siege the city again and take it back. And another thing that I did is get sledding, which could lead to polar warfare. And if you look at this map, you'd say, okay, well, I get that. There's some starfish and all, and there's a lot of ice now, so you can probably fight. But if I had just been smarter with this first Mooney, I would have not had to struggle so much. So I really shot myself in the foot here. And bada bing bada boom, the guy has swordsman and the guy sieges. Not a fantastic way to start off a game, if I'm being honest. And we even see that they are on this mountain here, meaning that they are probably somehow either on the water already, which we didn't know yet, or they have a land connection here, meaning that their continent is much larger than ours was, which is very unfortunate. And they have writing, so they should probably be good in that regard. So what I choose to do here is get an explorer, and that explorer reveals that they are in fact not land connected. Take some resources over there. We are slowly but surely upgrading our economy. It's terrible. 18 stars per turn at turn 12 is just absolutely miserable. It's not where you want to be. I do some strategical ice breaking. And you might be thinking, well, why the heck would you break that ice? And then I say, starfish, I need the economy. I must do the economy bit before I can fight them. They have swordsmen. They have land. We need support. And we see that they have this port here. And they have a boat here. Not great. I get polar warfare to totally try and go for all of these starfish. And now we do get into the first place. Probably because I placed this monument here. So things are starting to look better. Even though, you know, we are losing the battle at the moment. And my opponent is gaining access to the water. You know, it's okay. There goes our Mooney. So things are not looking too fantastic here. I mean, we do have a Agami here, and we do have a lot of riders. But riders versus swordsman is not fantastic. It's not the thing that you want to see. But we do have a sled here, and we can train way more. And the other thing is, Moonies and riders, maybe combined with some archers, can really pummel anything that comes close to the ice. And we're going to try and outvalue our opponents by using polarism, which is still one of my favorite technologies, to just absolutely destroy what is going on here. Also making use of some funky ice mechanics. Dash break is so good. People have been talking to me when this patch came out, the ocean update. People were saying, well, but breaking the ice is bad for Polaris. But they never thought about whether or not you could actually use it to your advantage with Polaris. And if you look at this, you can see, well, my opponent has swordsman, and I can't fight that currently, so why not just break the ice and fight on the place that we can win and just distract their attention. Get some of these ice archers, try to find a way to bamboozle. And now they shoot themselves in the foot because they just break the ice. But little did they know that we wanted them to break the ice. Because we are going to do, if you haven't watched this video, port pinning. You should really check that one out, because this is a great strategy here. Basically, it means that if you can find a way to kill anything that gets into a boat here, they can't get access to the water anymore from this port until they can kill the unit, but they can't at the moment. So that's great. Now we siege that with a veteran rider, and well, looking at this, now we're doing quite well. Even though my opponent is playing Kiku on a continents map, which is to their advantage, I would say. Get some resources. It's pretty good. Oh, bomber spotted. But we have little tricks up our sleeve, because we are playing Polaris. And Polaris is the trickery true. Which is not a word. Bonk, 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 zoop, bonk, bonk. Ice Archer, perfect. We get farming just so we can upgrade this city. And if we can upgrade the city, that's going to put ice on all of these ocean tiles. Meaning that we now can re-establish our ice connection. But also we can upgrade the city. Perfectly fine. This is fine. It's all perfectly fine. You see, distracting my opponent here and getting them to commit a lot of resources to a bomber and a giant, they're going to regret that, because we can freeze this stuff. And that is one of the best things about Polaris. If there's something you don't want to fight, just freeze it. And there we go. There were a lot of things I didn't want to fight, so that's just exactly what I did. Don't fight. I think my opponent already saw all of this falling down into dust and ashes. Didn't even want to do it like this. But they can see the writing on the wall here. I don't know what went wrong with what they were doing. I genuinely have no clue. But the fact that they saw me freeze all of their stuff probably didn't help. So, yeah. I think that is quite a way to finish a game that we are at the start not winning. So, a lot of you guys have subscribed already, so keep going with that. Also, a lot of you guys who watch this video have actively liked my videos. And I would like to say thank you. You're a good person. Thumbs up for you. And I think that is it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.